All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down a really interesting matchup, the Denver Nuggets versus the Miami Heat. And yeah, the final score tells you who won, but the real story here? It's about sheer dominance clashing with some serious resilience, all wrapped up in a pretty intense rivalry. So let's get the basics out of the way. The Denver Nuggets took the win at home, 122-112. Now, a 10-point victory, that sounds pretty straightforward, right? But believe me, that number doesn't even come close to telling you what really happened in this game. So we have to ask, what really decided this thing? It wasn't just that 10-point difference. There were key moments and some absolutely wild performances that swung this game completely in Denver's favor. Let's dig in. And you really have to start with one person, Nikola Jokic. We're talking about a level of triple-double domination that was just something else. It was like watching one player become the entire offensive system for his team, completely bending the game to his will. I mean, just look at these stats. They are staggering. First off, he drops a massive 33 points, finding all sorts of ways to get buckets against that Heat defense. But scoring was just the start of it. He also just completely owned the paint, pulling down an incredible 15 rebounds. He was just dominating possession for his team. And then, to top it all off, he was the master puppeteer of the offense, dishing out a crazy 16 assists. So you've got 33 points, 15 boards, and 16 assists. And the wildest part? He had the triple-double locked up before the third quarter was even over. Just an absolutely unbelievable performance. And look, you gotta understand, these weren't just empty stats for the box score. This performance was the Nuggets' offense. His playmaking from the high post, his unstoppable scoring down low, it just completely picked apart everything Miami was trying to do defensively. He was the reason Denver's offense just never seemed to miss a beat. But while Jokic was out there playing like a force of nature, the Heat ran into a huge, catastrophic problem on their end. We're talking about a total interior collapse that you can trace back to one single unlucky moment, a moment that completely changed where this game was headed. And this was it. Here's the turning point. In the second half, the Heat's defensive centerpiece, Bam Adebayo, goes down with a left foot injury, and he doesn't come back. His absence just left this massive hole in their defense that Miami just had no way of plugging for the rest of the night. And you can see the impact right here, plain as day. Look at this rebound battle. The Nuggets grabbed 68 boards. The Heat, only 44. That massive difference is a game-changing stat, and it's a direct result of losing your number one big man. So that's the story right there. Without their anchor, the Heat's defense inside just fell apart. It wasn't just about giving up one rebound, it was giving up second, sometimes even third chances for the Nuggets to score in the same possession. And against an offense as good as Denver's, that is just fatal. Okay, so obviously it wasn't just a one-man show or a one-man collapse either. Let's widen the lens a little and look at some of the other key guys on both sides who really kept this thing a fight, even when the deck was stacked. Yeah, beyond the main headlines, you had some huge supporting performances. For Denver, Aaron Gordon was vital, stepping up with 24 points. And for Miami, Norman Powell was fantastic with 23, and Bam himself had already put up a really impressive 25 points before he got hurt. Gordon's scoring was so important because it meant the Heat couldn't just throw all of their defenders at Jokic. But you know, Powell's game, especially after Adebayo went down, that really tells you a lot about the Heat's toughness. It just proves that even when they're at a huge disadvantage, they've got guys who can step up and get them some much-needed points. But to really understand this game, we've got to zoom out and look at the whole picture, because there's this fascinating psychological angle to this matchup, this rivalry. And Denver's recent run of success, it goes a lot deeper than just this one game. I want you to just look at this number for a second. 11. Just let that sink in for a moment. That number? That is the Nuggets' 11th straight regular season win against the Miami Heat. 11 in a row. That's not a trend anymore. That's a pattern. That's a powerful psychological edge when you walk onto that court. But, and this is a huge but, there's a massive twist here. In the regular season, yeah, the story is consistent, Denver dominance. And yet, we all saw what happened in the 2023 NBA Finals. When the stakes are at their absolute highest, it can be a totally different game. The Heat have proven they can flip that switch. And that really leaves us with the big question going forward, doesn't it? Will this psychological edge the Nuggets have built up in the regular season be what decides things next time? Or will that famous Heat grit and their proven playoff toughness win out when it truly, truly matters? That's what makes this matchup so fun to watch. Thanks for tuning in.